Handsome 3 points you've just collected.
Nah, it's huge. We've been criticised this season for no grafting, no fighting and giving away cheap points, but tonight we fought for every ball. It wasn't pretty. We know we can play better, but a huge 3 points and it feels good.
You said to us before the game, we owe the manager and these fans a performance that's full of fight, heart and commitment. Do you think he delivers it?
Well, it wasn't full of ability. If I was watching on the telly, I'd have turned it off. But we owed the manager a performance. We graft week in, week out, and it's a waste if we don't deliver at the weekend. We've had a lot of criticism as a team, so you either go into your shell or you puff your chest out and do something about it. And delighted for players like Phil and players that have had criticism who go out there and prove some of them wrong tonight with good performances.
Why do you think it was such a scrappy game from both sides?
Well, we can't argue it's rust. It's only a week off, so I don't know. I think we've not been in great form. We're not kind of clicking. We're not creating enough chances. But tonight, once we got the goal, it was a bit staying strong. Every team in this league is going to create chances, and we limited Southampton to very few. So it's a huge win going into the international break, and we need to build from this definitely.
Does it make it all the sweeter because it is the international break, because a bad result sits with you for a fortnight?
It does. I was dreading going up to Scotland with another defeat or a draw, so it'll make the drive up tonight a bit sweeter. I just thought it was near roadworks.
Do you think that Danny Ings had it when you saw it halfway line and the keeper was out?
I thought he should have played it inside to me, but he probably didn't see me. But Ingsy scored more goals than most in this league, and I fancied him on the half volley. But in the games coming up, if the goalie decides to come up, I fancy him for the next one. Just
how good does it feel to come off the pitch with the 3 points as well? As you say, when the results haven't been coming, you've not been getting the wins you want, how good a feeling is it? Yeah, it's amazing. You take the praise when it comes, the criticism hurts, but tonight we'll get some praise for a strong performance, and it definitely makes the weekend much sweeter.
Well, it's always good to hear from the Aston Villa captain, John McGinn. I thought it was really interesting that he pointed out some of the criticism that had been pointed at the team coming into the match. No graft, no fight. Did you see more of that tonight from Steven Gerrard's side? Yeah, definitely. And I thought McGinn there, he himself, I think that's the best I've seen him play for Villa this season. I thought he's really stepped up. He fought for everything. And sometimes as a captain, as a leader, you've got to do things that you don't really want to do. He's a ball-playing player. You want to get onto it, but he's not afraid to get stuck in. And I thought he did that really well, in particular the second half. And that's what you need. You need to grind out results, and he did. That's a captain who's relieved as well that they managed to pick up the win, because there would have been a bit of pressure on him to get the boys up in the dressing room as well, wouldn't there? Yeah, there was so much talk about, obviously, Mings losing the captaincy at the start of the season, so that probably adds a little bit of pressure to McGinn as well. It wasn't his fault, it was Steven Gerrard's decision, but yeah, Karen's right, second half, we got some really good tackles and some really good blocks. And in the studio here, it wasn't pretty, it wasn't good to watch at times, but at the same time, they've got 3 points, massive 3 points for Aston Villa and for Steven Gerrard, and of course McGinn, he played his part tonight, and you could see at the end of the game what it meant to the team. As he's up to Scotland tonight for the international break, and he won't get too much stick off the rest of the Scottish lads over the weekend, but it's a big win for Villa. Why did it take the game so long to get going then, Karen? I don't know. I think there's probably two teams that aren't in probably great form as such, or hasn't been. There's been obviously a little bit of a gap as well due to the circumstances, but it just takes time, and I thought it was a while for them to find their rhythm, but I think Coutinho really started to get them into their rhythm. Bailey did in the first half in particular, and that last 20 minutes of the first half was when really Aston Villa took grips and held on to the game really well. Yeah, they were pushing for a goal and they managed to get it through Jacob Ramsey. Bazunu, the Southampton goalkeeper, had made a couple of good saves, one from Coutinho and another one, which he actually tips onto the bar here. Did you feel a bit sorry for him, Shane, when this one went in? Yeah, a little bit. I mean, on another day, Gavin might look back tomorrow with the goalkeeping coach and analyse and think, can he help us over the bar, or can he get it away from danger? But it is a relatively good save, but I actually think he's got too strong a hand on it, and he's got up in the air instead of just sort of nicked it over the bar. And it's a brilliant finish from Ramsey. He's come back to him. He doesn't know if he's offside or not. He just got to go and finish it, and it's broke to him nicely off the defender's head. And it's not an easy chance either, and off the crossbar. It's a massive goal for Aston Villa. Not just tonight, but maybe in the course of their season. Yeah, just looking back at Gavin, I just think maybe he could just get it over the bar or get it away out of danger. It happens really quick, and I always say slow motions do nothing for goalkeepers because everything looks a lot easier when it's in slow motion. But it happens really quick on the pitch, and it's a quick reaction. How much credit does Jacob Ramsey deserve, though, Karen, for staying alert and just just waiting in the right place.
That's it. That's parcel of getting goals, right place at the right time. But I think he had so much more to that than Villa. I think he's got a really good engine. He's a local lad, which the fans absolutely love. But I think since he's come into the team, was it like 18 months ago? I think he's just gone from strength to strength, and I thought he did really well tonight as well.
It doesn't matter how you get the wins, Shay, as long as you get them. What did you make of Aston Villa's chances across the full 90 minutes?
Yeah, again, I think Karen mentioned about they had the lead, of course, and I think towards the second half he sold it up. Stephen Gerrard brought on some more defensive-minded players to get the clean sheet, which was important as well. But Coutinho was bright sparks for him, and as Karen says about Bailey on the right, there was a lot of good stuff coming from him as well. But just not that, maybe that cutting edge. I don't remember Gavin Bazuna making loads of saves and what have you, But the home team you'd expect to sort of generate these chances, and they did so, especially second half. But I do feel the last 20 minutes of the game, Stephen Gerrard was happy to not try and score again, just to keep a clean sheet, keep us nice and compact, because, as I say, it's been a long time since they kept a clean sheet as well. So I'll give the Martinez and the back four a real lift as well. Yeah,
we talked before kick-off, Karen, about the problems that Aston Villa have had in front of goal. Was there an improvement overall tonight?
Yeah. Well, first of all, you get the 3 points. That's a massive improvement, isn't it? But I think the thing that pleased me again was the clean sheet. That's really good. As Shay said, it's so hard to really explain how vital that is and how important that is for a team, isn't it? The morale and the confidence. But I thought overall the fight, the determination, as we said, wasn't pretty, but you can work on that. And I think the results have had the last two games been positive.
First clean sheet in 12 matches for Aston Villa. So they needed that, but how much of that was down to how poor Southampton were in front of goal? They only had one shot on target in the whole 90 minutes, and they had to wait until the 76th minute to get that shot on target. It wasn't great from them, was it?
I mean, Southampton fans watching the TV, we going, that was really poor. Fans would have travelled up as well from the south coast a long way. I mean, they had a few chances. This is probably one of their better chances, early part of the first half. I think we could have pulled it back to initially on the edge of the box, but it wasn't the worst ball. I think it's Che Adams. Maybe he could have darted across the centre half there and give himself a chance of scoring. But these are sort of half chances. We've picked out the best bits we could here, Jules, and it's not spectacular. That final
not great,
ball,
is it?
That final cross. Martinez had a late fitness test. The goalkeeper Aston Villa. Well, maybe he didn't need these gloves on tonight because I don't recall him making a save. So I just think when he looks back, Hassan Huddle tomorrow at this game, the next couple of days, he'll just be really frustrated. And for me personally, just as a neutral, I was frustrated they didn't have a goal last 15 minutes. Throw caution to the wind. Whatever, get a couple of strikers on, just get more offensive players onto the pitch and have a go. And as Dawn mentioned in the commentary, it was only an injury time when they really started throwing caution to the wind. Why not do it with 20 minutes to go? Give yourself a chance.
Yeah, Che Adams was quiet tonight, kept very quiet. He was substituted off, didn't really have a sniff, did he, Karen? Is it anything to do with the average age of this Southampton side? They are the youngest average starting 11 in the Premier League.
Well, that's, to be fair, you just put. I was going to mention that we said at the start. Yeah, it really is. We work too much together. They are in that transitional period, and it is risky bringing in and changing the strategy. We said they've changed the backroom staff, but it is a risk going in recruiting players that haven't had Premier League experience at other clubs and then bringing them in and having that policy of young players to sell them on. And you can kind of see that a bit disjointed. I think losing Romeo has been massive. The possession hasn't been great. I know got injured from Manchester City because they played him too much too soon. So that's disappointing for them. But hopefully as the season goes on, they'll get stronger and stronger, but it is a worry. And like we said, where do the goals come from? Can't really see it.
Shay, you've worked as a coach before, and I imagine with lots of younger players as well. What is the difference of taking them from the training ground into match situations and that all blending and working?
It's difficult, as you say, the youngest team and the youngest squad, and I think when they are young, it's consistency. Southampton strikes me as some team. They beat Chelsea this season, for example. They were brilliant against Chelsea, beat them 2-1. And then today they were so flat, it looked like a totally different team. But when you have young players, the consistency can be up and down. If you have experienced Premier League players, every week it's a 7, 8 out of 10. When you have young players, it can be a 7, 8, it can be a 4. And then Hassan Huddle has to got to balance that act, really. But yeah, just frustrating tonight. If you're a Southampton fan, you're going home scratching your head. That was a real poor performance tonight. Yeah,
it's the consistency of Southampton's results, isn't it, Karen, that seems to be the issue? Because it's not been a bad start to the season for them. They've had a couple of wins in there. It's back-to-back defeats now, but they won't be too worried, will they?
I hope not. Again, it's young players and confidence, but I really do think Romeo, losing him, and Shay, you said about the inconsistency of young players, you knew what you're going to get, and I think there's effect on James Ward-Prowse. A lot more responsibility and him being deeper and taking that role on, but hopefully they'll grow into it.
OK. Well, it was back-to-back defeats for Ralph Hasenhüttl, but an important win for Steven Gerrard.
Steve, we saw your reaction at the end. Just what does that mean to you, the club, the team, the fans, everyone tonight?
Listen, it's a big victory, and you know, we done it in a way where it wasn't pretty, it wasn't stylish, but where we was in the league and the pressure that's on myself, my staff and the players, we knew we had to do it in a pragmatic way. So really proud of the boys' effort, application and commitment. And we've played better than lost. That's the reality. And sometimes in football, you've got to do the ugly work, you've got to do the grinding, you've got to be committed. And we showed a lot of fight today, and we limited them to 0 shots on target. So we've definitely got half the game right. We will get better in terms of style and possession and the pretty stuff that'll come. But at the moment, what's important is points.
And tonight was, however you did it, it was all about the win and just giving everybody a much-needed lift.
Yeah, it was, and we had to back our results up against Man City. The performance was really good, really strong, and there was a lot of eyes on us tonight being on the TV. You know, can they back the City performance up? And we did, but we did it in a different way. We did it by grinding, by sticking together, and by getting over the line. And we scored a goal off a set piece. And sometimes that's how you can win football matches in different ways, and we've done it in a pragmatic way today.
And that character and clean sheet for the first time this season, how important is that foundation?
Very important. It's how you build consistency. If you can defend well, if you can defend your box well. I've been critical about this group, about the detailed defending around the area at times, but today there was a lot of bodies on the line, a lot of blocks, a lot of fantastic headers. Mings, Konza were sensational today. Ashley Young's been terrific last 2 games. So yeah, a lot of praise, but from a defensive point of view, I thought we were a little bit anxious in possession. We were trying to force it, trying too hard, maybe trying to find that final pass too soon. But as we move up the table, we get more confidence, more belief, we'll relax more, and then that's when maybe the pretty stuff will come. Even at 1-0, even though they hadn't had a shot on target, what's it like in the last 5 or 10 minutes in that technical area? Listen, I've been open and honest, and I always will be. It's been a tough period, but in these tough periods, I've wanted to step forward. I've tried to protect my players, tried to lead, and let everyone know that I'm right up for this fight. I'm right up for moving up the table. We've accepted a lot of criticism, and rightly so, and that's what it's about. It's about taking it and reacting and acting, and that's what we've done. Well done.
Well, he says it wasn't stylish. We had to do the ugly work. A scruffy win, I think Steven Gerrard describing that one as, Karen. But how much of a lift will it give them regardless?
It's 3 points, Jules. Nothing ever beats that when you go.
Welcome back. Aston Villa lead Southampton by 1-0 at half-time. Karen, the game took a while to get going, didn't it? But Villa scoring their goal just before half-time. That would have changed Steven Gerrard's team talk, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it did. Like you said, it was really, really slow. The quality was really poor in the opening 20 minutes. And then Coutinho started to find his feet, started to open up gaps. Bailey had a few chances, but wasteful. But in the end, it was first short corner of the game, actually. And then the delivery and everything else came on the back of it.
It was a great time to score the goal. Jacob Ramsey on the score sheet in the end. But do you feel a bit unlucky for Bazunu? Because he made a couple of good saves before this.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. I mean, they go to sleep a little bit, Southampton, as Karen says, a short corner, and it's whipped in. It's a really good header from Mings. Just looking at Gavin Bazunu on the goal, I don't know if he's got too much a hand on it or tried to just... Something you just got to help that on, you know what I mean? Just help it over the bar, but it's nearly he's got too strong a hand and it's popped really up in there off the crossbar. We thought about maybe is he offside, Ramsey, here, but I think Karen knows a bit more about the VR than myself. But I
You're a pro at this,
because the defender headed, then Karen informs me that he's not offside.
Yeah, Salisu heads it. You see the little touch there, and then he's alive, Ramsey. And
it's a great
that's
finish.
A different phase. Yeah, it's a good finish, to be fair. But I think you're right, Shay. I think the keeper's got to have... You're going to get a strong hand to it. It's got to go over.
Yeah, I think he's got to help it over the bar. Well, yeah, that's debatable as well. But I think he's got to. I think he's got to help it over the bar. He can do that. Sometimes you're reacting as a goalkeeper, and he gets a real strong palm on it, and sometimes it's too strong a palm. But you can see Steven Gerrard's reaction. The relief was massive at Villa Park, and you can see Steven Gerrard, great reaction there at the end.
Yeah, well, heading into the game, only Bournemouth had fewer shots than Aston Villa, and we talked before kick-off, Karen, about the problems that Aston Villa were having in front of goal. apart from the goal that was scored by Jacob Ramsey, have we seen a lot of the same again, or has there been an improvement?
No, like I said, after the 20 minutes, this man on the ball now, Coutinho, started to get into areas and started to cause problems. After this, then, that shot, I think that spark thing, you see him coming in the back post again. I don't think he could do much more with the header than what he did, but he was a real catalyst for them. Bailey, we've seen him had quite a few chances. This is a good chance for him. So I think they've started to grow into the game, and we know what this man can do. He just come on, decides to have a shot from the corner there. But like you said, I think his team talk will change. It was more positive the latter 20 minutes.
Leon Bailey made a challenge early on in that half, Shay, which I think when we looked at it again, we thought, oh, has he got away with this one? What's your thoughts seeing it again?
Yeah, probably. As I say, I don't know the exact laws because the referee didn't even give a foul for it. So I'm not sure if he can pull it back to VAR again. But when you see the second replay now, he left it quite high, if I'm being honest. We've seen players get sent off this year for lessness. You'll see it here now in this angle. He's gone over the ball and he's gone down his shin. You know, that's a pretty bad challenge.
What's your thoughts, Karen?
If anything, I'd say it is obviously dangerous, but I'd say nothing more than a yellow. He's trying to go for the ball. He does make contact, but I think if there was anything, it'd probably, at best, maybe a yellow, in my opinion.
You're the queen of VAR.
No, I'm really not. I'm really not.
VAR can only pull things back if it's a red card, and the referee obviously felt it wasn't a red card. That's why it wasn't checked. There is another match